Hello everyone and welcome to MATLAB Helpers live event on live coding session which goes with the hashtag MATLAB Helper Live. And we are organizing this event wherein we'll be doing a live coding along with you guys, and we'll be doing two games in this session. One would be the Sudoku, another would be Rock Paper Scissors. And in the second session, which we have today itself at 10 p.m., we'll be covering the other two games. So I'm Aditya Chaudhary and I'll be conducting Sudoku. I'll be explaining Sudoku. And
Okay, guys, my name is Gunjan and I'm going to help you with the part of rock, paper, and scissor in the second leg of this session. Let's go ahead in the session and keep going on.
okay, so let's get started with the coding part. Let me share my screen. So here I've created the Sudoku blank template. So that's the create function. So it's kind something like we'll be creating a function Sudoku before writing the or before creating the GUI. But before actually starting, let me show you how the game actually runs. So let me open the program, run it once for you. So while the program is running, I would like to thank Eravat Foundation. Uh, we are conducting this session in association with this foundation. This is actually an NGO. It's a technological based NGO, and I would like Gunjan to speak more about it.
Okay, thanks Aditya for asking the question. Araut Foundation is an NGO working for the mission of technological advancement and at the same time for the assistance of betterment of humanity. Aditya, please go ahead with the Sudoku program and let's see how this thing goes.
Okay, so this is a GUI which I had created earlier. So it's a Sudoku using MATLAB with hashtag MATLAB helper. And as you can see, we'll be coding a 4 by 4 Sudoku. Let's generate a Sudoku quickly. So you can see a Sudoku is generated and the values which are already there in the matrix are in yellow. The rest of the values are zero. So let's quickly fill the Sudoku to check the answer. So I'm just filling it randomly for now. So I'll just add, I'll have to add 2, 4, 1. So you'll have to complete the Sudoku in this fashion. And then we have this check for answers button. So you can see I could not complete the Sudoku, that's right. And the values which I had entered, which were correct, are in green. And the ones which are in red are the wrong values. So let's quickly start the coding of this Sudoku GUI. So I've created a Sudoku blank template. Let us quickly create a function Sudoku. Function capital S is our Sudoku matrix. S equals to Sudoku m comma s. So we'll be passing two variables to it. One is m, another one is s. Next is we'll check if the x or if the s matrix exists or not. So this is the command. So it will check if the S matrix is present. So I'm just writing if the matrix does not exist. So in that condition, we'll be creating a S matrix of zeros. So it will be a blank S matrix of the size, of the size M comma 0. So yeah, I'll have to turn off this if function. Now next is find the first blank cell or first zero. So consider we have a 4 by 4 matrix like this. So, and there's a value at 1 over here, and there is a 0 here, 2 here, 3 here. So what we have to do is we have to find the first 0 value, like the index of this place or this position in matrix. So to find that, we'll be writing or we'll be generating a variable first ID equals to minimum, and we'll find from the M matrix. So it's M from all the rows, M all the rows, and we'll find for 0. So equals to 0, and let's terminate. Now, if there aren't zeros, so that's our matrix. So it'll write if empty, if is empty, first ID. So if first ID is empty, like it does not have any value, so that's our answer, right? So we do not do we need not do anything for that. And if it's not empty, then we have a problem. So the size of the matrix S comma 3, and we'll be adding 1 over here because the size starts from 0 and we need it, it's a 3 by 3 thing. So this is to save it. Okay. Terminate the sentence as well. And else, now else is something which we need to look for. Now, if there's no value, if it's not empty, so we'll be using a function which is I comma j. And guys, if you have any problem or if you're not understanding anything, so just comment down in the YouTube chat section so that even I can understand where exactly you're facing the problem. So we'll be using this function over here. I'll just explain you about this function. So we are working with a 4 by 4 matrix, and we are considering the Sudoku as a matrix over here. So first ID, and we terminate it. So let me quickly tell you what this function is for. So consider there's a matrix 1 which contains 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we are using this function, and the value of first ID is 2. So in the entire matrix, it will search for 2, and it will return the corresponding position of it. So 1 comma 2 would be stored in I comma j. So I would be 1 and j would be 2. So that's why we use the function int to sub. And guys, if you really need help for any of the functions in MATLAB, you can type it in the command window with the function name. So int to sub. You can just type help into sub and hit enter. So meanwhile it's loading, let me continue with the code part, and then we'll proceed. So, okay, so this is the help which came, and you can see it's multiple scripts from linear index. So let's quickly continue with the code part. So we'll be writing for k equals to 1 is to 4. So we have to calculate all the possibilities, and that's why we'll be using this k equals to 1 is to 4. Okay, and then we are creating one more variable I, which will give us the seal value or the ceiling value of I by 2. I is our index matrix at the or the position of matrix where 0 is present. Okay, so that's into 2 plus 1 because there will be a cell. I'll just explain you about the cell part in the next line, wherein we'll be creating another variable mm. So I'll just do it for all the columns as well. Into 2 plus 1. That's done. Oh, sorry, it's 2 plus 1. And yeah, so I'm creating another variable mm, which is equals to, so it will be fetching the values from capital M. That's our initial matrix, which will be passing on in this function. So we'll be taking the first row, the ith row and all columns. And what we will be doing is, okay, so let's take I, which is the variable we just generated, and we'll be taking it I plus 1. So why we are taking it, let me explain you. Consider this is our matrix over here, and we have so basically we are creating this mm matrix, and why we are doing is, see, for example, if this is I, and that's at position 1. So we are referring to this block, and we want to make another cell, like for checking if the number is duplicated in this cell, we have to create another 2 by 2 matrix. And in a 4 by 4 Sudoku, this count is 2. Okay. And in a 9 by 9 Sudoku, it's again 3. So there are 3 by 3 matrices in those 9 Sudokus, 9 by 9 Sudoku. So similarly, I'll do it for the columns as well, JJ plus 1 percentage. So, okay, and now we'll be checking the condition that both the things, like if there's a number 1 over here, it should not be present in the rows, like it should not be in this column, neither in this row nor in this box. So we'll be checking for these 3 conditions in this if loop. So if sum capital M I comma colon equals to k, which is the value which we are currently working with, 0. So if this is so we are checking for all the rows over here, and similarly we'll check for all the columns in this place. So sum of M all rows and j column equals to k, and the sum if it's 0, and again we'll be using one more and over here. So and sum. Now we'll be checking for the 2 by 2 matrix over here equals to k, which is equals to 0. So this is our if loop wherein we'll be checking this part, and we are just left with some 2 or 3 more lines. So just hold on with me and we'll be designing the GUI for this program. So mi comma j will store this value if the condition is true, and s equals to Sudoku. Okay, so what we will be doing is we are calling the function inside the function itself. So that's called as we'll be calling this function recursively. So here the comments go with it. We'll be calling this function recursively. And now let's terminate all the loops which we have opened. Okay, so I'll just indent them properly using this function over here. And we are done with the function thing. Okay, before moving ahead, we have created a function Sudoku, and the name of this file is Sudoku blank. So we'll have to edit that as well. And to edit the thing, I'll just edit it as Sudoku because it won't work without that. Now let us quickly design a GUI for it. Let me type guide in the command window to open the GUI. I'll be creating a new GUI for it. Click on OK. So I'll just maximize the window. Okay, just do a few more adjustments so that you can see it properly. Now, first of all, let me put the text as we have seen earlier. So I'll just add a text box over here, right click on it and go to property inspector. And I'll just scroll it down a bit in the string section. Whatever you want to write, you can just write it over here. So I'll be writing Sudoku with MATLAB, hashtag MATLAB helper live. Oops, MATLAB helper live. Now what you can do is you can change the font size. So I'll just keep it as 12 for now. You can just experiment with it more. And guys, if you are facing any queries, you can just comment down in the section below. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to add a edit box over here. So that's one edit box over here. I'll just keep it like this. I'll right click on it, go to property inspector, scroll down like I showed earlier, and just edit the string part. So I'll just edit the string part. I'll click OK, and I'll create a few more boxes like it so that we get a 4 by 4 matrix over here. So this is how we create it. I'll copy the entire row. I'll paste 3 more rows. Okay. And next, what we'll be doing is we'll be adding 3 buttons for it. Like we saw in the first part, there'll be 3 buttons. Those would be the generate, Sudoku, reset, and uh, check for answers. So let's create a button quickly. I'll just go and create a button over here. Since a lot of resources are getting utilized, it's a bit slow and it's lagging. So just wait for the button to appear. So okay, it's appearing over here, and I'll go to property inspector again, scroll down, change the string. Okay, I'll change the string to generate Sudoku. Generate Sudoku. There was some error. Already selected the button actually. So I'll just go back to this button and create a property inspector. I'll click on the string. Yeah, now it should be right. So I'll again type generate Sudoku. Click on OK. I'll create another button over here, which would be for the reset part. So I'll go to property inspector again. I will edit it to reset. RESET. Okay. And I'll be changing the tags as well. So I'll change the tag as reset. I'll just check if it got reverted or not. It's not. I'll check the tag as reset and make sure that you hit enter button so that the changes are saved. And last button which we are dealing with is the check answer button. Guys, and if you have any queries regarding how to use this GUI functions, we have created a good tutorials on GUI, and the link for which is mentioned in the card section. So in the left corners, left hand upper or the top corner, you can just click on the I button and you can directly navigate to GUI tutorials. So I'll just create another button, which is the last button. I'll change its tag as well. So it's check answer and done. So just close this. We'll be saving this figure by the name Sudoku figure or Sudoku GUI. So it's Sudoku GUI. Save. And once you save the program, there'll be 462 lines of code which is generated automatically. So don't be afraid of this thing, because this is an automatically generated code, and we'll be adding few more lines according to our requirements. So before starting, just in line number 50, or it's around 50, so you'll find a function Sudoku GUI opening function. It's like it will execute just before Sudoku GUI is made visible. So in this part you'll have to add a line which is to uh, add a background to your GUI. So we'll be doing access h object. And in the next line, what we'll be doing is we'll be showing an image which is already present in my folder. So as you can see in the left side, in the current folder, you can see a 4x4 image. So I'll just quickly add that image in that part. So sudoku.gif. You'll have to put it in the quotes. Okay, so we are done with this part. And what next you have to do is you'll have to scroll down like at the end of the code, and you'll find the check answer button over here. So we'll be adding few lines of code, but before that, let's finish off with the reset button. And reset button, we just have to put 2 lines. It's close all, and we will call this GUI again. So it's Sudoku GUI. That's it. That's what you have to do in the reset button. And guys, if you have any queries, you can just comment down in the section below, as I cannot see any one of you are commenting down. So I cannot really understand if you have any questions or queries. The next part is the check answer button. But before that, let's go a bit. Okay, so we also have this push one button, or push button one, which is a generate Sudoku button. And in this button, what we'll be doing is we'll be adding some global variables. So that's global n, global m, and then we'll be generating. Now this is the portion where we'll be generating a new Sudoku for it. So we'll be generating a random integer. This will create a unique random integer. Like if I'm passing 4 to it, it will create 4 random integers to it. So next is our global variable m, which will I'll add it as m zeros. It will create a 4 by 4 matrix of 0. Then we have, now I'll be using this function over here, random, because I'll be generating the Sudoku in a very random fashion. It will be totally random. So no one can really predict it, what the Sudoku or what the answers would be. So I'll just create everything randomly. I'll create the I, Y, or the XY coordinates randomly as well. So this is done, and we'll be calling the Sudoku function again. It's small s, so you need to be careful while writing the function name. We'll be using this function which we have just created to generate the matrix as well. So to check as well, we'll be using it to generate. So what it will do is it will create another or it will fetch the data from S matrix. And when we use this function, it will be creating 72 different Sudoku sets, and we have to select again a random one out of it. So we'll be using the function random I, which is random integers. Now let's create another n matrix, which is n zeros, 4, and then we want to display those values randomly again. So I'll be using I, 1 is to 1 is to 8, because we'll be displaying 8 values from the total of 4 by 4, that is 16 values. So x equals to random integer 4. See, again, as I said, we'll be creating everything as random integers. So I'll be using this code or this function again and again, because this being an interesting game, it should be random. It should not be, every set should be a unique one, so that there's no cheating in it. I'll increment I and I'll end the loop. Now, next part is to display those things in the GUI. Now, this is something where you need to be careful again. So j equals to 1, and we'll be creating a for loop again, which is similar to above for loop. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly type it on. So this is something to, go row by row or column by column. So 1 is to 1 is to 4. And we have this value a comma b, which is equals to capital N, which we have already created a matrix, new matrix, and that contains all our answers. So this is the function this hand, we'll be creating a variable. This handle equals to sprintf. And this is the part where I was talking about. Now, the tag of this edit boxes is edit 1, edit 2, edit 3, edit 16, and in this fashion. So to really access those, you need to do this, or you need to follow this step very well. So once you're done with this part, next comes the set function, wherein you will set the values. Just let me quickly type it so that you can understand it more better. So I'll just change the string values. Oops. String. Here it needs to be a comma string, and it will insert the value a comma b. Okay, so I hope this is very much clear. And if you have queries, you can just comment down. So in the next part, what we'll be doing is we'll be checking if the value is, this is something additional which gives an effect to the GUI. So if we are doing this, like if I'm just building another if loop, so value a comma b, if it's not equal to 0, that means there's a value in it, and this will give us the, or this will change the background color. So I'll just copy this thing from here, and what we will be doing a change over here is we'll be setting the background color this time, not the string. So we'll be editing the background color property, and this should be yellow. Okay, so we'll be setting it to yellow. Let me end the loop, increment the pointers, and end. Okay, now we are done with this button as well, and we are just left with the last button, which is our check answer button. And in this part, what we are going to do is we are going to check the value, like we'll be creating another variable which will be t, and we'll be comparing the answer which is stored in n with this variable. So we'll be again calling the Sudoku function. So even if we are generating generating a Sudoku, or we are checking it, so we are recursively using this function. So Sudoku will be calling this function, and we have k equals to 1. For c equals to 1:1:4, and for d equals to 1:1:4. So again, I'm creating this row wise thing, and what I'll do is I'll simply copy the above portion to save a bit of time, and you can just proceed with it. I'll just change this variable to k, and okay, so this handle. Now we'll be creating another matrix t, which will be c comma d, and what we will be doing is we'll be using a function string to number. So whatever the values we get from this handle, so this handle will be fetching the values from this handle, and those values would be strings. So whatever the value we are getting, we'll be storing it in a T matrix. And last but not the least, we'll be checking it. So let's quickly end the part. And again, one more loop I'll have to end. Now, to check the part, what we will be doing is we'll be adding a function or a variable tf, and we'll check is equal we'll be checking t and m. So I'm just sorry, I just forgot the variable name. It was t and m. So we have already created a matrix t, and we'll be checking if that's equal to our answer. And if that's true, there'll be a message box. So f message box, you can just randomly write anything in it. So I'll be writing kudos Sudoku sort. Sudoku sort. Okay, and we'll be creating another else loop over here. So else loop, like if the metrics are not same, so let's put it as, oops, couldn't save, could not solve, sorry. So could not solve the Sudoku, and try again. Let's end the if loop. Yeah, and then we are done. Now what we can do more to add it, like to give a appearance, the green and the red things which I mentioned earlier, you might have seen it in the when I played the game. So to add that thing, what I'll do is I'll simply copy this part of the game, this part of the code, and paste it over here. And instead of comparing this T with this, and we'll be changing the string to background color. So in spite of this string over here, we'll be changing it to background color. So that's what you have to do. And let's quickly run the code. Let me just adjust my screen more. Okay, so this is how we generate the code. This is the button which will reset the Sudoku. We can generate it again. And let us quickly try to complete it. So it's 3 over here, 4. Oops, sorry, it cannot be 3 over here. It got to be, I don't know, I'm just confused. So let me type it randomly and let the computer decide if I'm right or wrong. So here I'm just typing 4. Yeah, I'll type 1 or 2. Oh, okay, I have to type 1 here. I have to type 2 here. I'll type some random thing 3, 2. Let's check for answer. So it says try again. I'll just add 4 here, 3 here. I'll change this 2 to something else. What's left? 4 is left. And in this part, again, there's something left, which is 3. And check for answers. And it still says you cannot solve the problem. What's left over here is 2. Check for answers. Kudos, Sudoku solved. So want to try again? Press the reset button. So this is how you code the Sudoku. And let's quickly move on to the next game, which is Rock, Paper, Scissors. Kunjan?
All right. Wow. So that was a very fun game, Sudoku. I think this was rather than fun, a really mind blowing session in which you were trying to solve Sudoku. So if you're able to solve the Sudoku using your codes, you can actually have the code and utilize the number which you get in your paper or at any random place and solve the Sudoku directly using the code. So that was really fun part. Okay. So post this Sudoku, we will be moving to rock, paper, and scissors. Now, I'll be taking just a moment so that I can share my screen and go ahead with the coding part. In the meantime, if you guys know what exactly is the rock, paper, and scissors, that is really good. I guess you guys are really interested in how exactly we will be proceeding with. And if you don't know about that, let us discuss something about how exactly the rock, paper, and scissors works. So meantime, I have actually shared my screen. I have already prepared the code. So in a rock, paper, and scissors game, what usually happen, we have three options: rock, paper, and scissors. So this is the symbol of rock. Next, we have paper, and third, we have scissors. What happens? Rock beats scissors, scissors beats paper, and paper beats rock. So we are going to code the same thing, rock, paper, and scissors using the MATLAB part, as well as at the same time, we will be having fun while playing the game together. So since you guys can see my screen, I'll first show you the code which I have already made, and you will be able to find out like how exactly would be the end result of our created this game. I have run the game. It starts with let us play the game. It gives us multiple options, which are rock, paper, and scissors. Okay, so I just selected paper. It takes a time. Player choose paper, computer choose scissors. Scissors beats paper, so computer wins. Now again, the game starts. So what I had done earlier is we have created a set of 3 games. Out of a set of 3, whoever wins maximum game will be entitled as the winner of that game. And in case the person like person versus computer, this thing becomes a tie. So the game would be played again, and until the result comes for the 3 games, it will keep on playing the game. Let me just play this game so that we can end the session for this player game. The game is draw. Just see the number. Let us play the game 2 again. I'm choosing the paper again. Paper, computer choose rock. We won. That's great. Meantime, I would like to get your feedback, suggestion, whatever you guys feel about the code, whatever you think about the session, please write in the comment section below. And we will be having another session in the later on. We will be talking about Mario as well as Tic-Tac-Toe. So Aditya has already covered the portion of Sudoku. If you guys have any question with respect to that, you can also leave the comment for that. And Aditya or me would be talking about that in the end of this chat. Right, computer wins, the game is over. So let us start the game from the scratch part. The basic funda of a code is you should have a proper code ethics. I have literally mentioned the game and all the comments. It will be helpful for me in order to proceed quickly. And at the same time, it will also give you a guidance with respect to what exactly I'm doing in this code. So this is the code, and let us start with simply CLC clear and close all. What is the purpose of using this thing is simply the previous game whichever has been started, the previous thing which has been started, it can be made cleared and at the same time can also be made closed, whatever the MATLAB work has been done. So we will be starting with the completely blank thing. Now the winner is determined with the following rules, which we have already discussed. That is rock is beating Caesar, Caesar is beating paper, and paper is beating rock. I'll be taking rock, paper, and Caesar as a string of an option inside the using question dialog. And for computer, we will be randomly generating a number between 1, 2, and 3. So let us start with the game number 1. I'm just terming it the number 1. So this will be my game number 1. We will also be talking about the wins of the player or wins of the computer. So we will have our next line, which will talk about player underscore win equals to 0. Since the game is starting, the wins of the player is 0. In the next portion, it is the win of the computer part. So I'm just mentioning computer underscore win equals to 0. All right, so let me run it again to show you the portion. N equals to 1, player win equals to 0, computer win is equals to 0. We will be creating a loop so that we will have at least 3 games with the result. So since we are starting the loop, let me just have the idea of n is less than 4. While n would be less than 4, we will be keeping the game till the end part. So I'm using while and end. Now moving ahead in the portion, since the game has started, we believe that the game would create a result for us. And if the game create a result, we need to increase the number of n, that is the number of game. We also want to show which number of game is being played. So let us simply take an fprintf and the game number. Let me just type it. Game number hash %d / n for the new line, and I'm taking the n as the portion. So starting with the game number 1 would be displayed with. Next part is increase the game numbers. This comment, let me move on to its proper position. We will be looping again while we keep on getting a desired result. So if you aren't getting a desired result, we will use the another loop inside this loop. So this will be a nested loop. I'm keeping while loop is, let's say, greater than 0 and starting with the loop equals to 0 part. Now what is the use of this thing is, there are some miscreants who rather than choosing rock, paper, and scissors chooses cross, or someone is actually doing anything else rather than the given option. What you want, you don't want that person to do anything else rather than those 3 options. So you will force that person to keep on giving those options with the rock, paper, and scissors until he or she chooses that particular option. All right. So we have started the loop. This loop is for condition for properly getting input from the player. Okay, loop for getting input repetitively unless proper input is received. Close all figure if open. So we will be having the different plots. Okay, I should be showing you these figures which I have already prepared before the session. Since rock, paper, and scissors, I have already discussed what could be the figure of that. I have prepared 3 figures for rock, 3 figures for player, which would be R1, P1, S1. And for the computer, we have taken R2, P2, and S2. The direction has been taken in the same portion. So the image of the user would be from the left-hand side. So if I'm choosing rock, it will be shown in that portion. If the computer chooses rock, it will be shown in like that part. Now, this is simply the rule portion, like scissor beats paper, paper beats rock, rock beats scissor. We will be talking about that part in the later part of this session. For now, let's go back to the code. While loop is greater than 0, closing all the figures, the question dialog with 3 inputs of rock, paper, and scissor. So let's start with the QUEST DLG, that is the question dialog. And it gives with a single portion, like what is the question? Choose an input. Let me just give it an input in that order. We will give it a title. So I'm giving it a title R PS, standing for rock, paper, and scissors. And then I'm giving it a 3 option, which are rock. Then it will be paper. And then I'll be taking scissor. Please take precaution that when you are mentioning these things, rock, paper, and scissor, even a small r or an extra space or an extra s, whatever you choose, should be matched in the later on. If you are comparing the two string, we will also be taking a default string. So let me just take a default string rock part. And since we need to have it in a variable to compare with, so I'm taking PL underscore move, standing for the player's move. Once we have taken the question dialog, we will create an initiate figure. Now, depending upon the option which the user have selected. So let us use a switch case. I'm taking switch PL underscore move. Now, again, we have taken case rock, case paper, and case scissor. So let me take you directly to the proper portion. Switch player underscore move. And if the case selected is rock, so that will be case rock. In the next part, it would be case paper. So let me take it directly over here, case paper. And in the third portion, we will have the case seizure. So I'll be mentioning case seizure. Okay. Now, since we have taken these 3 cases, let me just discuss about how exactly the rock would be doing. We have discussed that the images, that is rock 1, paper 1, and seizure 1 belongs to the user. So I'll be loading that image with the command im read rock 1. So that stands for R1, like the image which I have named R1.jpg. And I'll be assigning it to PL underscore image, again for the person's or the player's image. Next, we will be plotting it. Now we need to showcase in the 2 portions. So the left portion for the user. So I'll be using subplot, subplot 1, 2, 1, 1 row, 2 column, and then first plot. And the plot would be of player's image. We also want to showcase what exactly the player selected. So I'll be giving it a title, player choose rock. Now, since this is a very similar portion from the players, so I'll be copying it down to if paper, we just change it to player choose paper. If the player has selected seizure, then we have this option of s1.jpg player choose seizure. All right, so we have taken 3 cases. Now what we have missed over here is if these 3 cases hasn't been selected and we need to change the loop portion. So since these 3 options are satisfactory result, we should change the value of loop so that when the while loop comes back to the same position, it shouldn't repeat it itself. So I'll just change the value of loop from 0 to loop equals to 1. And same thing will be done in the other 2 options. Loop equals to 1. If all these 3 conditions are not selected or are not taken off, we will have a option otherwise, which will just display in the code, in the command window, fprintf, that you have selected a wrong input. Please select again. And let me have a /n for the new line. Now this is the otherwise take input again in the loop. This portion will take care of the code part. So I'll end the switch case over here. And the while loop will also end with that. So end with that. Now, when we are using a command space for randomly generating a number, talking about MATLAB randomly generating a number, it actually takes us some time in order to generate a different random number. So usually we use RNG command to take the MATLAB property to its default position. But if you don't take it to that, it's better advisable to use a pause so that you can actually see what kind of figure was generated. So I'm just taking a pause of 0.5 second. Now using this pause, we will be able to see what the figure was, and later on we will randomly generate the code part, or talking about this thing, The computers move will come around now. Now, if you guys have any question as of now, I'll be really glad to help you out, and I can actually change the code at the same time. So please feel free to comment in the section below. I'll be taking rand I of 3 to randomly generate a number for the computer. So I'm taking computer underscore move equals to rand I of 3. This is for the computer. So let me check it here with the comment section. Okay, now on the next move, in the similar fashion as a switch case, we need to load the images for computer. So I'll be taking the direct option. If computer underscore move equals to 1, then so just like we have done over here, let me directly take the 3 values. I'll be changing it. Computer underscore image I am read. So this is rock 2. Again, I have given the images in the same order, R2, P2, S2, and I'll be changing it computer underscore image. And second for the subplot 2, and let me rename it to computer choose rock. So if that condition isn't matching, we will use an else if, and then we will have the same kind of funda to go ahead with. So let me just put it 2 times 2, 3, and end the code. Now, second option is standing for paper. Third option is standing for seizure. It's choosing computer is choosing paper over here, and computer is choosing seizure over here. So as of now, we have selected like taken the input from computer as well as for the player. So sorry, we have taken an input from player and we have randomly generated move from the computer. Do you want to test how exactly the figure would be? Let's see. I'm running it. Computer choose seizure, computer choose paper. So it was something wrong. Shall we try what exactly was the error inside it? Let me use the justification part. We must have taken a proper, we must have done something improper in the while loop condition. N is equals to n plus 1. It started with that. First of all, the game number started from 2. So rather than 2, it is game number 1. We started with the game number 1 part. Next portion is talking about why it didn't show us the figure of the computer. So let me actually take a pause in the ending part even here. Pause of, I'm just taking 2 seconds. And why didn't it took the option question dialog wasn't here. So again, we need to do that. So see, we mentioned loop equals to 0. When loop is equals to 0 and loop is greater than 0, the condition itself isn't matching. How would the loop start with? So loop is greater than 0, then it should start with, and loop will keep on. So in those situations, I'll just change the value to 0 so that the condition is false and the loop should terminate. Now the game should be able to play with. When we run it, started with game number 1. I chooses an input rock. Player choose row, computer choose seizure, and pause for 2 seconds, and then it shows an input. If I choose an improper input, let's say I'm just pressing cross button so that like I'm showing you like you have selected a wrong input. So let me show you a little bit inside it. You have selected a wrong input, please select again. So this program will keep on going until we select a proper option. We are so much adamant that we need to choose a proper input, and MATLAB is also adamant that you can't choose the improper option. So at this mean interval, I'll be really thankful of Araut Foundation, who is actually the suggester of these kind of games, which we are coding right now in MATLAB. Araut Foundation gave us an idea of creating multiple games. So along with the work of Araut Foundation, we are actually doing this live session for you guys. All right, so I'll be putting a control C so that we can move ahead in the code quickly. All right, so we have selected the move of player and computer. Now it's the part of coding, the relation between rock versus paper, paper versus seizure, and all those conditions. So let's jump back into the rules for rock, paper, and seizure. I have already created who is bidding what. That will be helpful for me, and it will not be confusing for you while you are watching this live session. I'll also tell you that we haven't coded this or we haven't created a blog post for it as of now on the date of live session. What we will be doing is we will be creating a blog post in a week time. And in the meantime, if you guys have any question or anything, I will suggest you to try the code by yourself or watch this video and code or take help from the video from us, from the comment or through email and get this thing. by yourself before going through the blog post, I'm sorry. Now we are going to code for the versus conditions, all these kind of rock bit seizure. So if player underscore move, it's a rock. So we are comparing two string. If player underscore move, strcmp, compare player underscore move with the rock, and at the same time, computer underscore move is equals to seizure, which is 3. So what is going to happen? What is going to happen? We are going to show a message box displaying who is the winner. So in this situation, rock is beating seizure. Rock is taken by me, the player. So I'll be taking v1. We will be giving it a title 1. We can actually use a custom icon. So since we have already taken an image, player's image, we will be using it in displaying the image portion. So I'll be displaying player wins, giving it a title 1, giving it a custom icon. Custom would need to go ahead in the part like that, and with the icon of player underscore img, which is for the player's image. We also want to show like who won, so I'll also be displaying in this, because once that message box is left, we will forget who won that game later on when we need to compare who was the winner, player or the computer. Out of those 3 set of games, we need to compare with the string. So let me just display it over here as well. I'll be saying player won the game, and I'll be mentioning the game number and win the game 1. We also need to increase the count of player wins. So it was player underscore win only, as I can recall, player underscore win plus 1. Now we are going to code the else conditions. So 1 versus seizure, we are going to have the similar part, but for the computer. So else if string compare player move was, if we had selected seizure, so let me correct it, seizure, and the computer has selected 1, that is rock. In that situation, computer wins. We lose, so I'm just saying lost custom, and then here we are displaying computer's image. Computer won the game. Oops, we don't want computer to win the game. Computer wins the game, and we'll replace the name again to computer underscore win. At this time, if you guys have any question or any query, please feel free to comment, and we will be taking up the queries later on in the ending part. We are also going to discuss 2 new games in the next webinar. So if you guys are interested for that, please keep us in the loop and come back for the live session at 10:30 IST, or in the time zone, your time zone, please. We have mentioned in the website itself clearly. We need to have other conditions. So now we'll quickly jump back to the remaining conditions using copy paste. Next is seizure beats paper. So 2A, here it is else if string compare, we have taken seizure and computer has taken paper. So player wins won, custom player image, player wins the game, player wins the game. So that is again true. Here we will take next case of computers win. So let us move on to the next part of, sorry, I've taken it wrong comment position. This should have come over here. 2v3 versus paper. So else if player move, we take paper and computer choose seizure. In that situation, computer wins. Again, in the same scenario, we will talk about the 3A condition when we have taken paper and computer chooses rock. We have taken paper. Please I'm reminding you again that even a small p does matter. If I have taken a p and it's a small, it won't match with the real input. So we need to take a proper input over here. Player wins. And we also need to take the final condition, that is we choose rock and computer choose paper. So rock versus 2, computer wins. Now in all these conditions, we have taken the different input if the input isn't matching. So what if the input is different? I mean, the input has been taken different, but what if the input is same? I also choose rock, computer also chooses rock. We need to have the fail-safe condition. In that situation, we won't count the game is considered or not. So here I'll be mentioning another condition. Else if, what should we have it? If both players take the same move, then computer game is a draw. So this is more like the leftover conditions. Directly else, message box. Here, the game is tie. And let me give it a title draw. We don't want to show anyone's image over here, so let me remove the portion. The game is tie. Okay, let me part the game's percentage D is tie and is taken care over here. Computer win is not. Since we have already all right, so now I'll be taking the part and else game is draw, which has been taken care with. Replay the current game, which we have already taken. Here I'll be mentioning this comment. And in the condition, pause to show the winner. This we have already done. So let me take it over here. Okay, there is one more thing which I wanted to tell. When we choose the message box, and if I play the game, this game will play very perfectly. But what will happen? Message box will keep on there. The game will pause for 2 seconds. Message box will not be removed, and the game would reach to the next position. Do you want to see what exactly I'm talking about? Let us see this thing. So I'm playing the game. Game number 1 comes. I choose rock. Player choose rock. There is a issue. We have taken strmp. This is an error. We need to have strcmp. All right. I'm too quick to correct it with the help of MATLAB. So we have removed all the strmp. I choose the rock. Player choose rock. Computer choose seizure. Player wins. I'm not removing player wins. It's already there. It hasn't left the screen. I'm choosing, let's say, paper this time. Player choose paper. Computer choose seizure. Computer wins. I'm not doing anything, but those things are still there. So we need to remove those message box. We need to continuously keep on okay. We can't do that. So what we will do is we will assign the message box and handle H, and we will use that in order to close the game. So let me just terminate the game first of all. This can be done using simply assigning H equals to this thing. So at every message box count, I'll be putting up H equals to message box thing. H equals to message box, H equals to message box. I guess as of now, everyone is able to understand. Please mention all your queries in the comment section. If any query is there, we will be taking up in the end. If there is no query, that is good. We believe that we are taking up all the session very well so that you are able to understand the situation directly. The game is try. We have taken care of all the thing. We need to close the message box. So what we'll do is directly use delete command, delete H, and close the message box. This will directly terminate that message box prompt. Now we have taken care properly, all the players move and everything. We need to also code the part where we need to show who was the ultimate winner. So let's just move if player underscore win, it's PLEYER underscore win is greater than computer underscore win. In that situation, what should we do? Display awesome. Player is the ultimate winner. Well, we are the player, so we should type, we are the ultimate winner. Else, the other condition, display. Again, oops, just like what Aditya did in the Sudoku. So, oops, we lost the game against computer. Better luck next time. Right. So I think I have covered all the part in this code, but if there is any mistake or anything, please comment so that we can correct it right now, even before calling it. As far as I can see, we have covered all the portion. We have discussed the gaming part. So I'm just running it directly. Game number 1. And I'll be increasing the size so that you can see the part. Choose an input, though I'm choosing paper. Player choose paper, computer choose paper. The game is tie. The message box itself got deleted. The figure automatically got closed. And the game number 1 is displayed again. Why did it shows the game 2 is tie? All right, so we have made a mistake. We need to correct that. Let me show that to you. Sorry. We have incremented the game number in the initial part of the while loop. So even though the game was first, it was displaying the game number 1. Here it's taking n equals to n minus 1. So if the situation is taken care of, I'll be taking n equals to n plus 1 post here to increment the game. Now I think even though the game would be tie, it will be displaying the proper number. So I'm taking rock input. Player wins, player won the game 1, awesome. Game number 2, I'm taking seizure this time. Player choose seizure, computer choose rock, computer wins, computer win the game number 2. What should we choose? Shall we choose rock? All right. We have taken rock as the input, computer wins the game. Now computer won twice, oops, we lost the game against computer, better luck next time. Let's play the game again one more time. We will be covering up all the part in the end. So player choose paper, player choose rock, computer choose seizure, player wins. I'm taking paper again. Paper and seizure, computer wins this time. Well, computer is becoming very smart. I'm taking rock this time. Computer choose seizure, player wins. Awesome. So we have won 2 games. Awesome. We are the ultimate winner. So we have covered all the part of the code as well as played the game. As I can see, there is no question as of now left with. So we just wanted to thank Airavat Foundation, who has actually helped us in the suggestion of these games. Even if you have any queries later on when you're watching this video, please feel free to comment. We will be taking up, or we will be helping you out with whatever queries you have. MATLAB Helper is really proud of organizing such session. MATLAB Helper is an organization providing programming expertise with assistance to students, professionals, and researchers. We help from MATLAB basics to advanced MATLAB codes and Simulink projects, which includes IoT, artificial intelligence, image processing, or diverse set of programming languages, programming tools, or the projects we are talking about. So as at the end of this session, I really want to thank all the people who viewed this. We are going to cover the next set of games, which will be Mario as well as Tic-Tac-Toe. In this session, you guys would have understood these two part of Sudoku as well as rock paper scissors. If you have any query, please comment, or please suggest, please get back to us through email or anything which you would like to. Aditya, would you like to add anything?
Okay, since there are no comments, I believe all of them have understood the coding part, and it would be really nice if you guys can, bring up something new from these codes, like something innovative, and send it to course@MATLAB Helper, wherein we can just we are also blessed with your codes, and we can I guess we can put it on our website with your name and a photo. So that would be something great if you can do, and if you guys have understood it very well. And don't forget that we have another session wherein we'll be covering more to games. Okay, so.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Aditya, for adding the information. Also, I would request all of you guys to subscribe to our channel and help us in increasing the accounts of us. As said, please come back for the next session, setup session. In the ending, I would like to thank Airavat Foundation. We just want to inform you that Airavat Foundation is looking for volunteers. So if you guys have any wish to support in the technological innovation or any kind of work which relates to technology or with the society, please get back to them. You can directly visit their website www.airavat.ngo, which is going to be live in a couple of days. And once you want, you can connect them through email or any other portal and contact them for any volunteership opportunity. Thank you. Have a good day ahead, and bye-bye.
Bye.